Good evening and welcome to the Monday, January 8th Maplewood City Council meeting. This is our very first meeting in the new year. I hope everyone, including our council members and staff that are here tonight, had a wonderful holiday season. We are back at work doing the business of the city. I have to say that I am excited about the things that we've got going on in the new year. If you're interested in learning more about it, you can go to our website, the Maplewood Living. I know the article that I added to the Living this month includes some things to look forward to in 2024. If you are interested in learning even more, you can certainly come to the State of Maplewood. This is also in the Maplewood Living. It's also on our website. I have done a State of Maplewood for the last several years. It's nice that now we're post-COVID, that the State of Maplewood will be in person. It's February 21st, 2024 at 9:30 a.m. I'm going to talk about some of the things to look forward to in 2024, a lot of great things. And council members, I know you have some wonderful things that you're looking forward to this year as well. We're going to be looking forward to new projects in Maplewood. We're also going to say goodbye to our city manager. She is going to be retiring after 40 years of public service. She will be missed. That's not one of the good things that's necessarily happening, but we are going to let her retire. Anyway, I think we've got some really positive things to look forward to. I have to say I'm honored to work with my fellow council members, and I'm looking forward to all of the things that we can accomplish for our city, for our residents, for our businesses in the coming year. So please take a look at the Maplewood Living. Come to the State of Maplewood now that it's back in person, and you can learn more about some things to look forward to in this new year. So with that, everyone, let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. City Clerk Sint, would you do our roll call for us, please?
Councilmember Cave.
Here.
Councilmember Juniman.
Here.
Councilmember Villavicencio.
Here.
Mayor Abrams.
I'm here as well.
And Councilmember Lee is not joining us tonight.
Thank you. Council members, would someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion approval?
Second.
Moved by Cave, seconded by Villavicencio, the motion to approve the agenda. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, then all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. We have, excuse me, 3 sets of minutes to approve tonight. Let's start with the December 11th, 2023 City Council Workshop Meeting Minutes. Would someone like to make that motion?
I move approval.
Second.
Moved by Juniman, seconded by Cave, the motion to approve the December 11th, 2023 City Council Workshop Meeting Minutes. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, then all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Next, we have the December 11th, 2023 City Council Meeting Minutes. Would someone like to make that motion?
I move approval?
Second.
Moved by Cave, seconded by Juniman, the motion to approve the December 11th, 2023 City Council Meeting Minutes. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, then all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Then we have the December 18th, 2023 City Council Special Meeting Minutes. Would someone like to make that motion?
I move approval. Second.
Moved by Juniman, seconded by Villavicencio, the motion to approve the December 18th, 2023 City Council Special Meeting Minutes. Excuse me, is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Moving on to appointments and presentations. Our council calendar update. City Manager Coleman, this is your agenda item.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. In terms of upcoming agenda items, we will have a workshop at our next meeting on January 22nd. and that will be to hear from Mr. Zhang, who is the owner of the former Sears site. And he's going to talk a little bit about his plans for that property, so I'm sure we're all going to be anxiously awaiting what he has to say about that. And that's really all I have on the calendar for you at this point. That will change as we get into the new year here.
Councilmembers, excuse me, is there anything else anyone would like to add?
Okay, thank you.
Moving on, we have no council presentations tonight.
Excuse me, Mayor. I'm sorry.
Councilmember Juniman?
Thank you. I'm sorry. I was, I guess, nodding off at the time. We should probably remind people that we are still collecting cold weather gear.
Thank you for that. We have a box out front. There are also boxes, I believe, at our fire departments, and I believe at some of our places of worship in town. Is that true, too? I just don't remember the listing, but you can check on the city website. We are collecting cold weather clothing, coats, hats, mittens, gloves, boots, either new or gently worn, and they will be distributed to people in our community through our public safety department and then also working with the Salvation Army. So I believe we're collecting until January 15th, so that gives you one more week in order to make donations, and then they will be distributed, I believe, on January 20th. I'm looking at our fire chief. Is that correct? January 20th? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that reminder.
Thanks, Mayor.
Okay, moving on to the 2024 City Council appointments to boards, commissions, and miscellaneous groups. Melinda Coleman is our presenter.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. Every year at the first meeting, the council officially makes their annual appointments to boards, commissions, and groups in which City Council is a member and serves at the pleasure of the council. And I believe the mayor has made those appointments in the staff report. Do you want to go through those, or how would you like me to handle that?
I don't see a need to necessarily go through them. The only change, I believe, from last year is the rotating position of Development Committee. Last year it was Councilmember Juniman, along with me. That is the committee that does the evaluations for the city manager. Otherwise, everything stayed the same. Council members, is there any changes that you would like to make? Councilmember Cave?
Did we have, we have acting mayor. Okay, you already did that. It was
Yes.
on the other page. Okay.
Yes.
No, I'm good.
Do you have a comment about Purple Line?
Councilmember Villavicencio?
I just had a quick question about when I was looking over these. Obviously, they weren't a surprise to me. But what I was wondering is, what is the process for us to make the MAC an actual commission? And what would be the benefits or drawbacks of it? I was wondering if we could look
That's
into
a
that.
separate discussion.
Yeah, that's a
I
different.
think that is something maybe that we would want to have a staff report on. I
Okay.
know that was one of the considerations when the MAC was developed. It certainly changes the rules and requirements on their operation, but I think that that's something, I'm certainly willing to have that added to something that staff looks into that particular question. They can either report it out to us. Is that something that you would like? Well, I'll have to talk to the other council members.
Yes, that's
Okay.
yeah.
Councilmember Cave or Juniman?
That's fine, but I will remind you that we, on purpose, made it a committee rather than a commission because we had a commission and it was harder to get members because of some of the limitations or some of the rules that are imposed on you when you're a commission. I mean, we can discuss it, but that is why it ended up being a committee.
And I think maybe a written report so that you have some background on that.
Right.
As to what happened in the past and why it is the way it is.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, good. So we can add that, City Manager Coleman. Councilmember Cave, did you have something else you
Nope.
wanted to say? Okay, Councilmember Juniman?
Was that your?
That was my
That was
comment.
it?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I don't believe that we need to, does anyone want to make any kind of changes to their appointments? I think that these are generally things that I have observed council members to really be passionate about. Okay, then
Need a motion?
we need a motion. Would someone like to make it?
Sure, I'll motion to approve the 2024 city council appointments to boards, commissions, and miscellaneous groups.
Second.
Cave, seconded by Juniman, the motion to approve the 2024 city council appointments to boards, commissions, and miscellaneous groups. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Moving on to our consent agenda. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
Sure, I'll motion consent agenda items G1 through 9.
Second.
Is moved by Cave, seconded by Juniman, the motion to approve consent agenda items G1 through 9. Is there any further discussion? Councilmember Juniman.
I think we should briefly update number 3 and highlight number 8. Please.
Okay, let's start with number 3. Mr. Martin, this is yours.
Yeah, Mayor and Council. So before the council tonight is the conditional use permit review for the Menards project on Maplewood Drive. There were kind of 3 issues that were identified by staff at the November meeting. One was a gap in the fence, which has now been installed. So the screening fence along County Road B is now complete. There's identified issues with some landscaping that we know that will have to be inspected and replaced in the spring, and honestly, with a project of this scale, I think that's to be expected, that there's going to be some replacement of vegetation. And then the third item, which is probably obviously the biggest outstanding, is some drainage concerns with the neighboring property to the east. There's been conversations, even since this report was sent to you at the middle of last week. There's been more conversations between the 2 property owners. There's been a draft plan. That plan is not the plan, but it's a start. And that Steve and his engineering team have been working and been part of those conversations. And so the ball is moving, but there's still work to be done to make sure that there's a plan that works for both sides, that Maplewood engineering staff is comfortable with, and ultimately implemented. So there's still work to be done, but the ball has started to move forward.
And do you believe that the drainage plan will be accomplished? I know what we're being asked to do is to approve the CUP for a period of 6 months, and then it comes back to us. Will we have the drainage issue resolved by then? Sure
Mayor-
would be good.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, the 6 months is a time that staff landed on, mainly because that gives time, when we think of like the replacement of vegetation, we need to inspect it, needs to be planted, we need some time to make sure it survives. And so the work of staff continues even between, obviously, a council meeting in January and a council meeting at the end of summer. Same with the development of a plan and implementing the plan. I can't give assurance, and I don't think Steve could give assurances right now that, yes, it will happen, because we're at the behest of 2 other parties coming together and agreeing on something. But what we can commit to is that city staff will continue to help facilitate those conversations and help those 2 groups move forward.
And we can always extend it again for a very brief period of time if we need to.
Mayor and Council, that's correct, yes.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Juniman.
Mayor, I just want the public to know that they do not have a final certificate of occupancy until they take care of all these things. It's a temporary certificate of occupancy. So we have a certain amount of, if you will, clout that these things will get taken care of, and I think that's important. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, highlighting number 8, G8. Chief Beardeman, this is yours.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. You have in front of you a motion to approve the resolution accepting a donation by Schmelz Countryside Volkswagen. Going back far before I was a chief, they've been giving donations to Maplewood Public Safety. This year is an amount of $3,000, $1,500 for police, $1,500 for fire. They've asked that we use that for employee recognition and wellness initiatives. So we're very grateful that there's a business in the town, in our city, that cares about our public safety department enough to give donations, and that they've specifically outlined that it should be used for employee wellness. So we're very grateful for that.
Thank you very much. Councilmember, we've had a motion and a second. We've gone through the update and the highlight. Now it's time to vote. All those in favor of consent agenda items G1 through 9 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We have no public hearings tonight, no unfinished business. We do have new business tonight, the penalties for the 2023 alcohol compliance failures. And City Clerk Sint, is this yours?
It is. Mayor and Council. So the Maplewood Police Department conducted their annual alcohol compliance checks October 20th and 31st of 2023 of our 51 licensed liquor establishments. 5 of these establishments failed by selling alcohol to underage buyers. And the list is on the last page of the packet for you. 3 were on-sale establishments, Millions Crab, Olive Garden, and Zen Ramen. And 2 were off-sale, Hillside Liquor and Party Time Liquor. Civil penalties can be opposed by the council to these businesses for the failures, and they are separate from the criminal charges that the individuals receive. That goes through the courts. Council approval is required for us to impose because there are no set amounts for the failures. And in past, our practice has been to charge $500 for the first, $1,000 for the second, and then $2,000, which is the state maximum, for the third violation. General guidelines we go by are 5 years. So after 5 years, the clock would start over. With that, using those guidelines, 3 of these are first-time failures, and we are proposing a fine of $500. 2 of them are second-time failures, and we are proposing the $1,000. Just for reference, those 2 also failed last year. All of the businesses have been informed of the proposed penalties, and they were asked to have a representative here tonight. So at this point, I'd suggest that you have the representatives address council if you would like, and then after hearing them, recommend either our proposed fines or suggest other amounts for us.
Thank you, City Clerk Sint. Chief, I have a question for you. I don't want to put you on the spot, but my recollection is that not only have we done the compliance checks, but we also did an education piece where we did a check, but it was more to educate people. Is that correct?
That's correct, Madam Mayor. So we do 1 check a year. Several years ago during COVID, we had many failures. So on our own, we decided to do an educational round in which it's a normal check. We do it the same way. However, we go back in right afterwards, whether it's a pass or failure, educate them, give them more information on how to pass and how to be successful. So we did conduct that. I don't know the exact dates, but we did conduct that roughly 5 to 6 months before this compliance check was done.
Thank you very much. So I think it lends itself to some credence to the penalties that we have here. This is something that I really don't want to have to do. I think, when everyone here came to the council for their liquor licenses, I think the council made it absolutely clear that we do look very unfavorably on establishments that serve minors. And I regret that we've got 5 failures this time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each one, and we'll ask you to come up and address the council. We're going to start with Hillside Liquor. Is there a representative from Hillside Liquor here? Do you want to come up to the DS, please? Please state your name. Wait, you have to wait until you get up. And if you could speak a little bit louder, because we're having a few problems with the microphone.
Okay.
It's actually clipped on up there. That's okay.
My name is Jan.
What would you like to explain to us about the failure? I understand it's your first time failing.
I don't know. Just this week 2 times
I'm sorry.
coming here.
Could you be a little bit louder, please?
That's
I'm
Millions.
English not good.
No, that's the one that she told us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know what to say. No. Just this my ticket, the 21. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I don't know what to say.
I know that this is difficult. What are you going to do that's different?
Just service and for serve Nichols for guys not 21 years old, right? Just today coming here.
Council members, anything that you'd like to add? Councilmember Juniman.
As the one who says something when you come to get a license, I can't tell you how disappointed I am that this is the second failure.
I got a second. Just everyone service coming here. I asked her, just everyone guys come in my store, check every time. Just ID. Just somebody say forgot. You know.
Oh, well, I don't really
Yeah.
care what the reason is. It can't happen.
Sorry.
Can I ask you a question? You've got a Millions Crab sweatshirt on. Are you with Millions Crab or Hillside Liquor? Who are you here representing tonight?
The my measures.
At Millions Crab?
Yes, miss.
Okay.
The manager should be here. You could give your manager a message. Your manager should be here.
No, Nicole Nyson just my name, you know. My just
I still think your manager should be here. This is a second offense.
okay.
I'm not impressed.
Done.
Good thing I don't set the fines.
Sorry.
Okay. Is there someone here from Hillside Liquor? City Clerk Sent, if there isn't anyone here from Hillside Liquor, what do you recommend?
I would say council can certainly proceed with charging them. And actually, I will say that is a past owner for Hillside Liquor. On the previous owner, there is a new ownership that was just approved in December. So this is on the past owner.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, moving on to Olive Garden. Is there a representative from Olive Garden? Please state your name.
Yes.
Sorry.
You can just hold it.
You can just hold it up.
Okay.
to the mouth.
So yeah, my name is Daniel Rodriguez, and I'm the general manager at Olive Garden. So I would like if you guys could help me out. I've been there for 2 years, and I do have a procedure to train all my team members to check IDs, which she did check ID. Unfortunately, she was going through some personal things where she failed to identify that it was, vertical, and so our program is pretty well. So if you guys can avoid that, like I say, it's my first, as far as I know. But yeah, that's if you can avoid that penalty for this time. And we do have a different program right now. It's called BARS, where we get audited at least once every other week, or maybe once a month, from their company to avoid this future, to avoid this in the future. We're gonna be there for at least 3 years. So, and again, our training program is very well, detailed, that we do check every single ID.
Okay. Council members, any questions or comments? Councilmember Juniman.
We don't forgive fines, not even for sad stories.
Okay, I'm not saying it's that story. I'm just giving you the facts, what happened. Unfortunately, this young adult was going through some stuff personally, but she did not fail to check IDs, which we do every single time. Unfortunately, she did not recognize that there was a vertical, it was red. It says clearly that under 21 until 2025. So, I'm just trying to clarify that we do follow our procedures. Unfortunately, I do not have control of every single team member, what they decide to do, but we have our training programs in place, and then we continue to do it.
So may I ask, was there a consequence for her?
Yes, she got terminated from the restaurant. She was terminated immediately. We don't fire people on the spot, but
Right.
Yes, she was terminated.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, it's just we all do make mistakes. Obviously, they'll have consequences, but I will appreciate it. Again, me as a responsible for the restaurant, if we can avoid this, and I mean, if it happens again, then obviously, we have to be hold accountable for it, which we did hold her accountable for it. But again, right now, what we're working on is, have our different program just check every single ID. I know a lot of, adults get offended by that, but unfortunately, we have to do it just to avoid this type of situations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there a representative here from Party Time Liquor?
Obviously, Mark is retired. Tim.
Good evening.
Good evening, Brad Colvin. It's very unfortunate. This is something I take very serious. Having a liquor store, I want to take, really ensure that we're being responsible. And unfortunately, it was with a employee that's been more long-term. He checked the ID. He clearly had a mishap. I have a lot of protocols in place. I'm constantly reminding employees, talking one-on-one even. And we take it very serious, so I definitely feel the full consequence and want to move forward and making sure this never happens again. And I'm happy to go if there's any information for us to kind of see if there is something that we should be doing that we're not. But it's difficult, especially with short staffing, to effectively, make sure that all the employees understand how important this is. But I'm going to continue taking that very serious to make sure this does not happen again.
Councilmember Juniman.
Thank you, Mayor. Can I ask you if there was a consequence for this employee? How did you handle it?
Yes, I've had long talks with an employee about it. They've gone to actual classes, an online course, and they're extremely apologetic and definitely feel personal responsibility for it as well.
Thank you. And I appreciate that you want it not to happen again.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you. Chief Beardeman, I know that there are other consequences for those that sell to minors. Can you remind us what those other consequences are?
I don't know the facts of individual cases on this one, but they were all issued citations.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. They were all issued citations.
And they're
Which they
pending.
have to respond to.
Yeah, I don't think it's gone through yet, but it's pending some type of court process, so.
Thank you. And finally, we've got Zen Ramen. Is there a representative here from Zen Ramen?
My name is Gonya Gar. I was general manager over there, and also I was applied the license here. And during that time, the council was seriously telling me everything, and we do take it very seriously on this part. We was training each employer when they newly come in. We was training all of them. And badly it happened for one of, he was actually employee 1 year and 1.5 years over there. Never happened like this thing. Then when I was asking him what's going on, he was saying that I know it's not excuse, it's happened. Then I was asking what's going on. He said that day he have a upset stomach. He need to rush to the bathroom. Then I said, this is not excuse. You shouldn't put beer or wine in the table. When you have a rush, you should call help first. Then, okay, what's going on? When the inspection tell us the test is a fault, and he was in bathroom. So I didn't take this matter if he was upset on stomach, even like that situation, I say first things first. Okay, you shouldn't put wine or beer on customer table first. So we was also have a meeting up that day happened, we was have all employee together during the evening. We was have a seriously talk about this issue. I really feeling very disappointed and feeling very sorry to happen like this. So this is what his situation he told me. Then yeah, we will never let this happen again in our Zen ramen. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anything, Councilmember Juniman?
No, she explained what she did, which is
Okay.
what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm so
Thank you.
sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. Council members, we have a motion before us. Would someone like to make it?
I move to approve the compliance failure penalties as proposed by staff.
Second.
Moved by Juniman, seconded by Villavicencio, the motion to approve the compliance failure penalties as proposed by staff. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. The penalties will be issued as proposed by staff. I hope that, and take this in the best possible way. I'm really glad that you're here operating your businesses in Maplewood, but I hope that we never see you again. Please take this very seriously because, one of the things, according to our staff report, the next fine for people for the third fine is $2,000, and after that, we start considering suspensions of licenses. And so it's something really to take seriously. And we want your businesses here in Maplewood. So thank you all for coming, and please make the necessary changes that you have to, all right? Thank you, everyone. That, council members, concludes our agenda for our first meeting of the year. I want to thank you all. Pretty easy agenda tonight, but we got some business done tonight. So thank you all, and we are adjourned.